fight was fixed. The poor stay poor, the rich get rich. That's how it goes. Everybody knows. And welcome to the Grassroots Connection, where we provide the information you need to make an informed decision. It's another beautiful day in Columbia, South Carolina. And as I'm talking, I'm just trying to get everything right. Our audio and everything should be good. And we have a special guest today. I'm waiting on his phone call. But his name is Gregg Hall. He is with Truth in Reporting in the Gulf area. And he's going to grace us with his presence on the phone. We'll take some calls and ask some direct questions. We know that there's a lot of PR going on right now with the administration in the Gulf area, and just want to hear it from someone who's in the area, what he sees and what his perspective is on what's going on there. So, again, when he calls in, we'll get him potted up and get right on with the interview. Now, wanted to go ahead and give out our call numbers again. That's WOIC.com. WOIC.com. You enter that into your search engine or browser, and our homepage pops up. And once that pops up, scroll on down to you see the Grassroots Connection. Tap on that. That brings you into the stream, brings you into the chat room, and there you can communicate with your neighbors. You can list any URLs that you would like, and you can also connect us through Facebook and Twitter. Now, for the first segment, I'm pretty much going to open up, I'm just going to ask some questions and have Gregg introduce himself to you. And then in the second segment, we'll open up the phone lines, and you can go ahead and ask any questions you would like. Now, our phone has been temperamental in the past. I don't know if you've noticed, but Martinez was using it just the other day and having a devil of a time. So if for any reason we happen to lose the conference call with Mr. Hall, what I will then go to is answering only questions out of the chat room once I get him back on the phone. So just wanted you to know the procedure we were going to use. And our call-in number today is 742-1230, 742-1230 locally, and toll-free at 888-671-7278. All right, and let's see here. I still haven't received a phone call, so I'm just going to pot up a few pictures that Mr. Hall has done. He's a photographer and a filmmaker, and if you're on my webpage right now and you're watching the show from the Grassroots Connection webpage, and you know that because you would see a lattice work. And that's my logo. You can go to the magazine tab, and in that tab, you will find a link to Mr. Hall's website. So please take avail of that after the show. All right, and it looks like him, so give me a few seconds while I get him in here. Hello, Mr. Hall. All right, man, hold on for me, and I'll pod you right on up, okay? All right. And that is Mr. Hall. So we're going to go ahead and pot him up. And hello, Mr. Hall, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Good. So our phone is working pretty good right now. Can you go ahead and give a little bit of information about yourself? I do have up, I've linked to your webpage from my page, so there are some people out there already who've probably gone into your profile. So could you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and how you became a citizen's journalist?
Well, I mean, it's purely by accident, you know. I mean, I grew up here in Pensacola, and I live on Pensacola Beach. You know, I mean, I live about 100 yards from the Gulf and probably 40 yards from the Santa Rosa Sound. And when I used to run the beach just for exercise in the morning, you know, and then when I found the first tar balls out there, it just really angered me, you know, and I just started taking pictures and doing videos and stuff like that just because I wanted people to know what was really going on, because I wasn't seeing anything being reported about it.
Right.
And, it's still like the same way, you know. I mean, I go out every day and I show them that there's tar balls and oil and, you know, stuff like that, and you still don't see anything about it. So just trying to bring awareness and make people realize that it's not over with, you know, and they've cut back on the cleanup crews all over, and, you know, the stuff's still here, you know.
Absolutely. And for one, I wanted to tell you thank you very much. I met your acquaintance on Facebook, and you've enlightened me quite a bit on what's going on in the Gulf area by looking at your reports on a daily basis and your collection of photos. You've done a very good job, and I'd like to say thank you.
Well, I appreciate it, man. I'm just an amateur, you know. I mean...
Well, so am I, but you know what? When your media is so bad that you have amateurs picking up the mantle, really, you got to laud or applaud those amateurs for the courage to stand up and do the job that these guys won't. Just that simple. So, you know, after watching the news, CBS, NBC, and all these guys, I've kind of noticed that the present administration is on a PR push trying to let people or lead people to believe that most of the oil is not only gone, but the seafood is safe to eat. And I just think it's absolutely ridiculous. But I wanted to ask you, because you're really there. I mean, you're on ground zero, so you would know.
Well, you know, whenever the First Lady came down here, she went to Panama City, which hasn't been impacted. When they came down here on their vacation, they went to Panama City, which hasn't been impacted, you know, and to me, it was just a big tourism ad, you know. Y'all come on down to Florida, it's great, it's so pretty. You know, why didn't they come down here where I show my pictures and videos every day? I could have took them for a walk on some ugly, you know, oil-stained and tar-ball-filled beaches, you know. And then as far as the seafood's concerned, if the seafood's safe, then why do they make the fishermen sign a waiver when they sell it to them?
Yeah, you got a very valid point there. It just appears as though the administration thinks that we either don't have the ability to communicate back and forth effectively, and we're just dependent on the mainstream. So, you know, they're treating us like children in that we don't have the information. They can tell us anything they want.
Well, I think they've done it for so long, you know, that they just have gotten to the point where they feel comfortable, you know, misleading people and spreading disinformation because they know that they're not going to get called on it anyway. You know, I mean, that's what it seems like to me, because if somebody like myself and some of the other people can put out pictures and videos showing what it's like every single day, and they don't even bother to acknowledge it, then that tells me right there that they are pretty much confident and secure that they've pulled the wool over everybody's eyes.
It sure does seem like it. So, you know, before we go any further, I just wanted to, again, thank you for what you've done. And I really wanted to know, and this is a really particularly puzzling question, are they still spraying dispersants to your, to your knowledge?
From what I'm told by friends of mine that are still working for the Vessels of Opportunity, yes, they are. I mean, I had one friend that called me last week that told me that they were specifically instructed not to try to clean up the oil anymore, that if they found oil out offshore, that they are not to talk about it on the radio, they're to call a special number that they're given, and then they're to leave the area. You know, and I've had a couple of other fishermen along the coast in different areas that confirmed that to me right after I released that information. They said, yep. They said they send planes out, you know. So
it's incredible to me that they're still spraying this core exit, and according to them, the oil is gone. It's just evaporated, disappeared. So why are they still spraying this very toxic poison in our oceans? It's just really It gets me beside myself to think that BP would have that much power to even be able to violate our federal laws. I mean, we have a 1972 Clean Water Act that BP is clearly in violation of, yet the EPA is certainly allowing them to do this stuff.
Well, there's a lot of things that are wrong with it, you know, and it's not just one particular company. I mean, I think it's the industry as a whole. You know, I mean, there are a couple of exceptions here and there that actually try to be safe, but by and large, they take a lot of shortcuts. You know, I mean, I have a personal friend of mine who had his neck and back broke about 25 years ago in a blowout, and it was over a $75 part because they would have had to shut the operation down for a day for them to fly a helicopter inshore and get the part and come back out. So instead, he broke his neck, broke his back, another guy got killed, and another guy almost lost his leg over a $75 part and just shutting operations down for a day, you know.
That is incredible. It really is. And I'm looking at some of the pictures. I don't know if you're online right now, but